Sorry, boss, am I interrupting?
Oh, no. It's just wool gathering. It's a present for Sally.
It's beautiful. Is it an antique?
It's not that old. I bought it for Nell, actually. Jewellers in Melbourne. We had a lovely lunch and went for a walk along the river. She was so surprised when I gave it to her.
She must mean a lot to you.
She did. I think she does.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm all set for the Putnam case tomorrow.
Oh, good. I'm sure you'll do a good job.
Thanks.
Get away with it! I will make sure you pay for it! It's enough!
Take your children and go home, Miss Putnam.
She murdered my wife.
This is not helping, Mr.
You're protecting
Scanlon.
her? She murdered my wife! Look, I heard someone was putting up money for her defence.
So you assaulted her. You're lucky
So
she's
she's
not
got
laying
at me. And I
charges.
thought she's going to get some hotshot lawyer, get off scot-free.
We've got a really strong case. Now, legal aid or hired gun, it shouldn't make any difference.
You really believe that?
Yes, I do.
I don't. Pressure's getting to me, Tom. I can't sleep. Half of me just wants to see that woman squirm. You know, the other half of me, I can't face having to relive the whole thing.
I know. We'll make it as short and simple as possible.
Just make sure she has to stand trial.
Well, that's our intention.
Yeah.
Just keep away from Linda Putnam.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's your best bet.
That was John Scanlon, wasn't it?
Bye.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Well, I don't know if you really call it a pleasure. I came to give you some news.
I thought we were having dinner tonight.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd give you a little time to reconsider.
What?
I took on a new client today. Linda Putnam.
What is it, Dawn?
You all right?
Of course I'm all right. Why shouldn't I be?
I just thought with Sally defending this particular case...
Goes with the territory. She does her job, I do mine.
If you say so.
And if you do your job, which I'm sure you will, then Linda Putnam will stand trial. End of story.
OK, I just wanted to make sure that you were comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable.
Good.
Thank you.
We are going to win this, boss. For everyone's sake.
You didn't even try to get out of it, did you?
I didn't want to try. It's a good case. I believe in it. I believe in Linda.
She's been done for being over the limit twice before. What's to believe? I mean, she's obviously a woman who doesn't care about the consequences of her actions.
Did I come here for dinner or was it a lecture?
I'm sorry. I mean, it's not as if you put in a lot of work. The legal aid solicitor will have done all that.
Oh, Tom, that isn't fair. Everybody has a right to be heard. That's how the system works. If I don't represent her, someone else will.
So let someone else.
I don't have the luxury of turning down a case. It's work. I need to make a living. This accident reminds you of the way Nell died, doesn't it, Tom?
If I was to ask you to drop the case for my sake, would you?
Expecting me to give it up to suit you? Be like me asking you not to prosecute someone.
Rubbish.
Look, we've been here before. I thought we'd solved this. I won't interfere in your work. You won't interfere in mine. Can't we just stick to that?
You ready?
Yeah, you.
Oh, Maggie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I have a word?
Of course. What is it?
I have a proposition for you.
What sort of a proposition?
A reduced charge. Linda's got her act together now. She hasn't touched a drop of alcohol in the 5 months since the accident.
I don't see how that's relevant if she's still sticking to a story that she wasn't drunk at the time of the accident.
At least it shows she's acting in good faith, trying to clean up her life.
What exactly do you want?
Do you think it would serve any purpose for those children to lose their mother?
I think that's up to the magistrate, Sally.
Not entirely. If you reduce the charge to driving in a manner dangerous, she could avoid prison, and that'd be the best thing for the whole family. What do you say?
Excuse me. See, there'll be no deals in this case.
Tom!
Sally, it's not even open to discussion. No deal. Yeah, we're due inside.
Have a good day at school and behave yourselves for Raylene, OK? Thanks.
Constable McKinley, Could you tell me what happened on the 30th of January of this year?
At approximately 8:15 a.m, Acting Sergeant Stewart and I were called to an accident at the intersection of Phillip and Briggs Street. It occurred only minutes before we arrived, and the complainant was a Mr. Alan Mulhall.
And could you tell me what happened when you arrived?
Acting Sergeant Stewart went immediately to the young girl who was walking in the middle of the road and then checked the Putnam car. I proceeded to check the other car, which was owned by Gwen and John Scanlon.
It's okay. It's all right. You're all right. It's all right.
It's okay, sir. The ambulance is on its way.
Oh, I don't know what the hell they thought they were doing. They were coming straight at us. Didn't try to swerve, nothing.
Calm down. We'll get the two of you out as soon as we can. Now, what's your name?
John Scanlon.
I'm Constable McKinley. Dash?
Who the hell would do that?
It's all right, sir. She's still alive. Why don't you try and talk to her?
Wait. You hear me?
What's the ETA on that ambulance?
Should be here any minute. How are they?
Well, he's all right, but she's unconscious. She's bleeding from the ear.
I'll get onto AIS. You stay with them. It's positive.
I stayed with Mr. and Mrs. Scanlon until the ambulance arrived. Constable Lawson arrived and he and Acting Sergeant Stewart secured the scene. I then followed the first ambulance to the hospital in the patrol car.
And when you arrived at the hospital?
I got there not long after the ambulance. Mr. Scanlon. How was she?
I don't know. No one's told me anything. Who was that? That other driver. Had she been drinking?
I can't comment on that.
Must have been. She came straight at us.
Do you remember anything else?
Oh, I don't know. It all happened really fast. No, one minute we're driving to the shops. Gwen's making up some new recipe. She needed something to marinate for 8 hours or something. Otherwise, we wouldn't have even been there.
Oh, my mum's like that. She's always experimenting.
And next minute, we got this car bearing down on us on the wrong side of the road. You know, I was trying to swerve, but I didn't have the time.
You can't blame yourself, Mr. Scanlon.
No, I don't. I blame her. I blame that woman. And what the hell did she think she was doing?
We'll find that out.
You promised me that.
We'll do everything that we can.
Mr. Scanlon?
Yeah, how is she?
Mr. Scanlon, your wife passed away a few minutes ago. There was nothing more we could do. I'm terribly sorry.
I stayed with him for a short time, and then I was present for and observed the taking of Miss Putnam's blood sample.
I produced the certificate of approved analysis, Your Worship. And Constable McKinley, you took the blood sample to Melbourne personally, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Worship, you'll observe that Linda Putnam's blood alcohol reading was 0.270%.
Yes, I can read, Senior Constable.
Thank you, Constable McKinley, that's all.
Miss Downey, do you have any questions to put to Constable McKinley?
I do, Your Worship.
Proceed.
Constable McKinley, did you keep the blood sample under constant observation?
Yes?
Are you sure? Is it possible something occurred which might have distracted you?
No, I wasn't drunk, okay? I mean, I never drink before lunchtime. Like, I mean, where you think I'm gonna, like, drink a whole bottle of rum before I take my kids to school? Where are they anyway? Where are my kids?
They're at the station. They've been checked by a doctor, but we'll keep them at the station until you're capable of driving.
Okay, sorry, and I hope they're not, you know, I hope they're not being like nuisances, because I'll tan their hides.
They've been very well
if they-
behaved under the circumstances.
Circumstances. Been a really bad crash or something?
Miss Putnam, the passenger of the other vehicle, has died. At this stage, I need to caution you that you are not obliged to do or say anything, but anything you do or say may be given in evidence. Do you understand this?
What are you talking about?
Do you understand what I've just told you, Miss Putnam?
No, that wasn't it.
It's you, isn't it?
What?
You're the one who did. I'll bloody kill you!
Mr. Scanlon! Calm down, Mr. Scanlon!
Did Dr. Farah have the blood sample with her during this altercation?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? If she was restraining Miss Putnam, wouldn't she be using both hands?
Well, I suppose so.
So Dr. Farah must not have had the sample with her.
No.
Did Dr. Farah have the blood sample in the hospital corridor with her?
I'm not sure.
So would it be fair to say that you don't know what happened to the sample while you were restraining Mr. Scanlon and my client?
Well, it would have been only for a few seconds.
A few seconds? So your claim that the blood sample was under constant scrutiny is not correct? Your Worship, I believe this inattention negates a claim of continuity of evidence.
Yes, I know the law. Thank you, Miss Downey.
Your Worship, I submit that this blood sample analysis is inadmissible as evidence in this hearing.
There's no way that wasn't Linda's blood. There was no one else there but us. No one could have tampered with it. You know, and Sally Downey knows it. Bill Dodson knows it, and we all know
Look,
it.
it doesn't make any difference, Dash. Bill Dodson's a good magistrate, and he has to uphold the letter of the law. Now, you know that.
I know, but it doesn't make it any fairer, does it?
Yeah, I thought you might like this.
Thank
Nice
you.
and sweet.
What else were we supposed to do? Let John strangle her?
Look, no one's blaming you for intervening, Dash. It's just a shame that you forgot to put it in your statement.
Yes, I know, I stuffed up.
Yes, you certainly did, but we'll get to that later. In the meantime, you and Stuart go down to the hospital and see what Yasmin did with that sample. Dora, bring the brief into my office and we'll go through it
I
again.
hate it when we look sloppy.
I wasn't sure if you heard the news.
What news?
Oh, well, I just heard Alan Mulhall died yesterday of a massive heart attack. Funeral's the day after tomorrow.
Alan Mulhall. There goes the prosecution. He's our best witness.
Only witness.
Would you please tell us what happened on the morning, January 30th?
Well, Constable McKinley and myself were out on patrol when we received a call from VKC to attend an accident at the intersection of Phillip and Briggs Street at approximately 8:15 a.m. When we arrived, Constable McKinley attended the Scanlons while I attended the child, Courtney Putnam, who was wandering in the road. It's all right. You'll be all right.
Let go of me. I have to help my mum.
It's okay. We're here now. We'll take care of you and your mum. What's your name?
Courtney Putnam.
Okay, take a seat, Courtney. It's all right. You're going to be okay. What's your name? Sweetheart, do you know your name?
Is Mummy okay?
Mrs. Putnam.
Nurse.
Right. Can I get you to sit up, please?
What's happened?
Oh, look, you've been in an accident.
Ah.
Okay, Miss Putnam, can I just get you to breathe into this, please? Just one
don't
long,
make it,
continuous
please.
breath. I need you to breathe one long, continuous breath until I tell you to stop, all right?
Teensy little accident. We're fine.
Just do as I say, please.
We're fine.
One big breath. Come on.
Hey,
Do as I say.
Just forget it. Just this one time.
No, I'm sorry. Just do as I say, please.
After the PBT, what happened?
Well, I fixed up the children as best I could. Constable McKinley then called me over to tell me that Gwen Scanlon looked like she might not make it. I then performed some sobriety tests on Miss Putnam. Now, can you just stand still? Just listen to what I say. I'd like you to touch your nose with your right index finger,
Yeah,
please.
no problem. Oh, I feel sick. Sorry.
Okay, now I'd like you to recite the alphabet for me, please.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Who was
Hi, Mum.
I? Was it I?
Acting Sergeant, did you have any other indications that my client was under the influence of intoxicating liquor?
Her general manner made me believe she was.
Such as?
Well, she was incoherent, her speech was slurred, her eyes were glazed, and she appeared unconcerned for the well-being of her children.
Could that be put down to trauma as a result of the accident?
I suppose.
You suppose. Anything else, Acting Sergeant?
Well, her breath smelt strongly of intoxicating liquor.
You told us in your evidence that there was spilt whiskey in the car, is that right?
Yes.
And that the smell was overpowering.
Yes?
Is it possible that the smell of spilt alcohol was so strong it could overwhelm other smells?
She was drunk.
Answer the question, Acting Sergeant.
It's unlikely.
Unlikely is not evidence, Acting Sergeant. Is it also possible that because of the pervasive smell of this spilt alcohol, you couldn't be absolutely certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you smelled alcohol on my client's breath at all?
In my opinion, no.
It's impossible. There's not a shadow of doubt in your mind.
It's possible, but not likely.
Is it also possible that my client's inability to perform the tasks you set her could have been due to the trauma she suffered as a result of the accident?
It's highly improbable.
But not impossible.
No. However, the results of the preliminary breath test showed that Miss Putnam did have alcohol in her system.
Did you perform a full breath test on my client at the station?
No,
Only the blood test at the hospital,
that's right.
the results of which are in dispute. Your Worship, a preliminary breath test is inadmissible as evidence. I believe my client has no case to answer.
Listen, my wife is dead. Everyone knows her killer was drunk.
Mr. Scanlon, be quiet.
Nothing's
or
a
I will
farce.
have you removed from the court.
Dr. Farah, the court has heard that there was a disturbance in the corridor, an altercation between the defendant and Mr. Scanlon. Is that correct?
Yes.
And during this altercation, you left the blood sample unattended in the treatment room. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was there anyone, apart from Mr. Scanlon, Constable McKinley, yourself and Miss Putnam, present in the corridor at the time?
No, the corridor was completely empty.
Was there anyone else in the treatment room when you left the blood sample there, apart from yourself, Constable McKinley and Miss Putnam?
No, I don't believe anyone could have
Objection,
tampered.
Your Worship.
We deal in facts, Doctor, not in speculation.
Thank you, Dr. Farah.
Doctor, in the 5 minutes or so before you saw my client, did she have any visitors?
She had a friend with her when I called her into my office, yes.
Do you know who this friend was?
I didn't ask.
Your Worship, my client informs me that Miss Raylene Stevens met her at the hospital and gave her a shot of brandy to steady her nerves. Is there any way that you could tell when my client had last had any alcohol?
No, there isn't.
Thank you, Doctor. That's all.
You may step down, Doctor.
We either need a whole lot of new evidence or a whole lot of new strategies.
Isn't there some way we could submit Alan Mulhall's statement? I mean, it'd help, wouldn't it?
He's dead, Jack.
Yeah, but he saw her driving erratically before the
A
accident.
statement on its own is inadmissible. You ought to know that.
I think we're forgetting something. Her kids. Where were they while she was out?
Babysitters.
Yeah, if we can find a sitter, they should be able to tell us when she got home and what state she was in.
True.
All right, let's talk to the relatives if you can find any, and teachers. Somebody may have been seen picking him up or dropping him off.
Ben, can we do a door knock? She might have got one of the neighbours or neighbours' children.
Sure,
to
I'll
look after
organise
the
it.
kids.
Come on through.
Look, I got no life, Tom. Died with Gwen. And it's looking to me like the woman who killed is just going to walk away from this.
Look, I know this is hard for you, but...
Tell me
you're
what
gonna just
justice
have
has
to
been
trust us.
served if she doesn't even go to trial.
We're doing everything we can to make sure she does.
Yeah, but what if she doesn't?
Look, you're going to have to speak to me eventually.
Dash got a million and one things to
I
think
said
about.
I was sorry.
Yeah, I know, and I'll get over it, but right now I'm still angry and I can't do anything about it.
You okay?
Well, we wouldn't be in this mess if the brief wasn't such a disaster.
Good night. I'll be staying at Mum's if anyone needs me.
Hey, you should go home.
Yeah, I'll go home.
No, I wouldn't want to be Tom Croydon right now, that's for sure.
But I keep reading it and rereading, and I can't find anything that'll help. If Raylene Stevens had come clean about what happened when they got home that night, I mean, Linda must have kept drinking to still be drunk the next morning.
Mr.
Well,
Scanlon.
I don't want you anywhere near me. How much blood money is she paying you anyway, huh? What's the price of integrity these days? I mean, I don't know how you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning.
John, come on, this isn't getting us
I
anywhere.
understand this must
No,
be
no, you
very-
understand nothing. You have no idea what I have lost. No idea.
Go home. I'll see you tomorrow. Come on, mate. Come on.
Yeah, they're coming.
Asham. Did you want to see me?
You haven't said a word since we left the station.
I thought we agreed not to discuss this case.
I'm not discussing the case, I'm discussing us.
As a result of the case.
I think it needs getting out into the open. I'm not trying deliberately to make your people look bad, Tom.
I never thought you were. But do you stop and think what you might be doing to John Scanlon?
I'm not doing anything to him. I'm defending my client.
It's a very convenient way of looking at it.
Could we talk about this rationally?
Watching him crying in court doesn't do much for my rationality.
Exactly. You're very close to this case. It makes a difference.
Of course it makes a difference. I know the man. I understand what he's going through. I can't apologise for that. It hasn't altered my professional position.
I believe that Linda is doing her best. I believe she's changed. Most of all, I believe for the sake of her children, the worst outcome would be for her to serve a prison sentence. It wouldn't do anyone any good.
Sally, she's an habitual offender who's refusing to accept responsibility for her actions. She killed a woman. She at least deserves to stand trial for that.
And I keep hoping that we're getting past the times of punishment and revenge.
If she's truly changed, let the court decide. I mean, trying to get her off on some technicality is obscene.
Oh, I see.
Well, you asked.
I know. You want to believe the worst, that Linda was drunk. I want to believe the best, that she wasn't.
Come on, you and I both know that that reading was valid, however you dress it up for the court. Next time she decides she can drink and drive without worrying about what might happen, she could kill one of her kids.
This isn't getting us anywhere. I think I better go.
I'm sure.
I think God is on Linda Putnam's side.
You know what you do? You shoot the lawyer.
PJ, it's hard enough for him already without you taking swipes at Sally.
But the woman has no scruples. Now, firstly, she defends Troy Reeves, then she tries to get Linda Putnam on. And the woman killed someone.
We gave her an in, and she took it. She's doing a job, unfortunately a little too well.
Right, just doing a job, huh?
We don't have to like it, or her. This relationship is important to him.
So is this case.
I can't spend the rest of your life with a case.
You really want to help him win it, don't you?
Not just for him, for John Scanlon. I'm really just doing my job like Sally is.
Maggie, I understand that, okay? But Sally Downey is defending a person that...
It's serious. He loves her.
So, not any time in the last 6 months? Okay, thank you.
What are you up to?
I thought I'd try a couple of the local babysitters in the paper.
That's a nice thought.
Long shot.
Any luck?
No.
Find Raylene Stevens for me, will you? I want to have another try with her. What are you looking at?
Oh, nothing.
I'm sure you've got work to do. Get on with it.
Not me, but my daughter Karen babysits for them from time to time.
Right, well, we're wondering if she was looking after them on the 29th of January this year.
Was that the night before that terrible accident?
Yes, it was.
Yes, well, she did, as a matter of fact.
I would like to talk to her, please. Do you know where she is?
She's in Sydney. She's studying for her degree in early childhood development. I could get you the number.
Yeah, that'd be great, thanks.
Look, I'd prefer if you didn't smoke.
You're asking me to dob in my best friend. I've told you before, I'm telling you again, I've got nothing to say that can help you.
If you really are her best friend, you'd be doing her a favour by telling us the truth.
Whatever that is. I know what you guys want, but I just can't see what good it's going to do Linda or me.
She needs help.
Don't we all?
Do you think it's fair on John Scanlon? Your best friend killed his wife.
Look, I know that, okay? Linda knows it too. But it was an accident. Putting her in jail, it's not going to bring his wife back.
Who's to say that if we don't stop her, she won't go out and do it again? Now, do you want to be responsible for that?
Do you care about her kids? You want to take their mother away and you don't give a damn what happens to them
wrong.
after that?
I do care. I care that their mother put them into a car and drove them to school knowing full well she wasn't capable of driving safely.
Look, I can't help.
Please think about it.
I have, and I'm sorry, okay? But I can't do it.
Senior Sergeant Croydon, did you interview Miss Putnam on February the 9th as a result of the accident that occurred on January 30th of this year?
I did.
I wasn't drunk. I was just shocked by the accident. And my friend Raylene, she came into the hospital and she gave me a really stiff shot of brandy. That must be what gave you that reading.
Miss Putnam, one stiff shot of brandy would not put you that far over.
Yeah, well, maybe I got a dodgy metabolism or something.
You are aware that you drove head-on into another vehicle? We have a witness to the fact that you were driving erratically before swerving onto the wrong side of the road. Do you have any explanation for that?
I must have just been swerving, you know, to miss something. I mean, you see, I don't remember. Like, this smash is just... It's just completely wiped out my memory. I don't know.
Perhaps you were already vague as a result of the drinking binge with your friend the night before. When did you stop drinking on the night before the accident?
About midnight? I don't know.
You were thrown out of the railway hotel at 2 a.m.
Yeah, well, you know, a bit before that then. I mean, I don't remember. See, I mean, I don't have a little notebook with me like midnight, went to the loo, 12:05, ordered a bundy. You see, Look, we were just having some fun, okay, and maybe I was a little bit tiddly, but I was not drunk.
Do you remember what you were drinking?
You mean you haven't checked with the bar staff? White wine. No, maybe a few mixes.
And when you got home?
I went to bed.
What time did Raylene Stevens leave?
She stayed the night. And no, we didn't have a drink at breakfast, in case you're going to ask.
So you're telling me that you drove off the next morning weaving all over the road, finally running head-on at speed into John and Gwen Scanlon's car, and you were stone cold sober?
Look, it was an accident, okay? I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Linda Putnam, you're going to be charged with culpable driving, exceeding the prescribed concentration of alcohol, and driving under the influence.
Senior Sergeant Croydon. Did my client at any time admit that she'd been drinking?
Yes, she admitted that she'd been drinking the previous evening.
Did she admit to drinking in excess?
No.
Did she admit to drinking after leaving the venues the previous evening?
Yes, she said that a friend gave her a shot of brandy at the hospital.
But that was after the accident?
Yes.
Is it unusual for a senior sergeant to interview an alleged offender?
No, it's not.
Is it true you have a special interest in this case?
I have a special interest in all cases that come under my control. It's my job.
You didn't show more interest in this case than many others.
Not in my opinion.
Do you know the husband of the deceased, Gwen Scanlon, personally?
Yes, we're both members of Rotary. I also know most of the members of this community.
Did you have personal contact with him on the day of or shortly after the accident which killed his wife?
I visited him at his home, yes.
Yeah. Have a seat.
I just wanted to offer my condolences.
I wish I died with her. Or instead of her.
Look, I know you think you're going to feel like this forever, John, but you won't. Gwen wouldn't want you to either.
Yeah, sorry, not much help.
I know.
So, you charged her?
It's still under investigation.
Are you going to?
I would think so. She'll probably be charged with culpable driving under the influence.
Why didn't she kill herself instead of Gwen? I hope she rots in jail. I'm relying on you, Tom.
We're doing everything we can to make sure she goes to trial.
Just promise me she's going to pay for this.
Do you agree that this visit would seem to be above and beyond the call of duty?
This visit had nothing to do with my role as a police member. It was personal.
My point exactly. Isn't it true that you're taking this accident very personally indeed, in a manner that could jeopardize your official capacity?
This hasn't affected my professional conduct at all.
Your wife died in a car accident similar to this one, didn't she, Senior Sergeant?
Objection.
You may go on, Senior Sergeant.
Yes, she did. She did. But there was no alcohol involved. And yes, I do take it personally when I see a mother who's 5 times over the limit put her kids in a car, knowing she's incapable of driving, causes an accident that kills an innocent person. And I make no apology for being involved enough to want to see justice done.
You may step down, Senior Sergeant, and thank you for your help.
Tom. Maggie, talk to him, please.
Why would I want to, Sally?
Mount Thomas Police, Constable Lawson speaking.
1 hour and 40 minutes before the court reconvened.
Yeah,
Has anybody heard from New South Wales about this babysitter?
They went to the uni, but she wasn't there. Their members are trying to track them down now.
We can't find her. We can't talk to the kids. Raylene Stevens won't talk. Is there anybody else we haven't thought of? Somebody give me some joy.
You're just going to have to rely on cross-examining Linda in the witness box.
No, you won't. That was Karen Lewis, the babysitter.
And?
Well, she said we don't need her to testify because her mother was home when Linda came back.
Why didn't she say so at the time?
McKinley and Stewart, go and bring her to the courthouse. Keep her in the witness box as long as you can.
Boss, we don't know what she's going to say.
It doesn't matter. We've got to hear the truth.
Yeah, where are you going to be?
I'm going to go and make one final attempt to make Raylene Stevens see sense. Come on, we can still win this. What I can't understand is why neither of you thought to put the kids into a taxi.
She's not like one of you fat cats. She doesn't have money to throw around on cabs.
No, she'd spent all on a drinking binge the night before.
Oh,
If she's really serious about handling her drinking problem, then I'm sure the court will take it into consideration.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure it's relevant.
What?
If she's going to hold on to her story about not being drunk at the time of the accident, giving up drinking is not going to make any difference, is it?
Look, she's trying to get her act together, okay? The accident made her realise that life can be shorter than you expect. I mean, she's going to AA, for Christ's sakes. Give her a break.
I always thought part of the recovery program was accepting responsibility for your actions and their consequences.
Could I have a moment, please, Your Worship? Mrs. Lewis, I'm Senior Constable Doyle. We'd like to ask you some questions. All we want you to do is tell us the truth. Is that okay?
Okay, Miss Lewis, just come.
I'd like to call Mrs. Felicity Lewis, Your Worship.
Okay.
Okay, is she going to be any good?
No, she's a bit reluctant to come in, doesn't like to get involved.
Oh, great. Have you heard from the boss?
Not a word.
Thanks. I'll just stretch this out as far as I can.
Senior Constable, when you're quite ready.
Take the Bible in your right hand and repeat after me.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Could you tell the court your name, address and occupation?
Felicity Lewis, 68 Short Street, Mount Thomas, and I'm a housewife.
Thank you. Mrs. Lewis, were you present at the home of Linda Putnam in the early hours of January the 30th of this year when she arrived home from an evening out with a friend?
Yes, I was.
Was anyone else there?
Her children, Courtney and Justine, but they were in bed. And my daughter, Karen, who was babysitting them.
And what time did you arrive, Mrs. Lewis?
About 2:30 in the morning.
Why so late?
Well, I was worried because Karen hadn't come home. She's normally home much earlier than that from babysitting jobs. Mrs. Putnam's phone had been cut off, so I went over there to see if anything was wrong.
And was there?
No, not really. It's just that Mrs. Putnam hadn't arrived back yet.
Could you tell the court, in your own words, what happened? Try not to be nervous, Mrs. Lewis. Just tell us as it comes to you.
We heard a disturbance outside and went to the window to have a look.
And what did you see?
Yeah. Lighten up, man. You know, life's short. You have a bit of fun for once, you know? Yeah. Here we go. Up we go.
Did you smell intoxicating liquor on Miss Putnam's breath?
Yes, it was all over them. They stank. It's a shocking thing. And her, the mother of 2 little ones.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Just tell us what you saw without opinion.
I'm sorry.
I have no further questions, Your Worship.
Miss Downing?
Mrs. Lewis, have you ever tripped over something small in your driveway or on the footpath?
Objection, Your Worship.
Yes, could you tell us where this questioning is leading, Miss Downing?
I'm trying to clarify what Mrs. Lewis calls tripping over, Your Worship.
If you can answer the question, Mrs. Lewis.
Yes, I have.
So when Linda tripped and fell, it could simply have been an accident?
Yes, it could have been, but...
Objection, Your Worship. This is merely opinion.
I'm trying to get to the truth, Your Worship.
Yes, continue.
Thank you. Well, of course it could have been. And have you ever been out with friends and it was very late when you got home and because you're very tired, you might just get a fit of the giggles?
Yes, well, I'm not really the giggling type,
I
but
do object, Your Worship.
Yes, confine your questions to facts, Miss Downing.
Yes, Your Worship. Did you actually see my client consume any alcohol?
No.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to see Sergeant Croydon, please.
He's not in right now. Is there something I can help you with?
So would it be fair to say, Mrs. Lewis, that you made an assumption about the accused being drunk? That you couldn't swear that she was under the influence?
I suppose I couldn't absolutely swear to it, no.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. You've been a great help. No further questions, Your Worship.
You may step down now, Mrs. Lewis.
Thank you, sir.
Senior Constable, do you have any further witnesses?
Change her mind. She wants to
At
give
the moment,
evidence.
Your Worship.
Senior Constable?
Yes, Your Worship, I do have another witness. I'd like to call Miss Raylene Stevens.
Objection, Your Worship. Another surprise witness.
I want to hear the evidence. I'll give you some time to seek instructions from your client before you begin cross-examination.
Miss Stevens, were you in the company of Linda Putnam on the evening of the 29th of January of this year?
Yeah, I was.
Could you tell the court in your own words what happened that night?
So, what can I get you?
Rum and Coke.
Yeah, same for me. Now make that 2.
3 rum and cokes.
Me party shoes on.
Anything to eat?
Nah, spoil the booze.
Maybe later.
Hope you didn't drive.
Stupid or something?
And when did you leave the Imperial?
At about 10.
What did you do then?
Oh, we kicked on at the commercial. That got a bit boring, so then we decided to try the railway.
What time did Linda stop drinking that night?
Well, she kind of didn't. We left the railway at about 2, I think. And before we left, we bought a bottle of rum, took it home to Linda's.
And did you continue drinking when you got back to the Putnam house?
Yeah, we did.
What time did you actually stop drinking, Miss Stevens?
At about 5, I think. I don't know about Linda. She was still drinking when I went to bed.
Shut up, you like the kid.
kids?
Oh, it's time for him to get up already, nearly anyway.
I left her to it and went to sleep in the spare room.
Do you recall what time that was?
Sorry, about 5:30. I'm not exactly sure, not to the minute.
On the morning of January the 30th, what time did you wake up?
Kid's alarm woke me up at about 7:15. Time to get up.
What time's it?
Time to take the kids to school.
Oh, no. It's okay, darling. Good girl.
Courtney got Justine ready, and then Linda drove them to school.
Yeah, all set?
You sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, it's only just down the road.
I should have stopped her. I knew she shouldn't be driving.
And why do you think that she shouldn't have been driving?
Because she was still drunk. I could have stopped her, but I didn't.
Thank you, Miss Stevens.
Miss Downey,
I have no questions, Your Worship.
you can step down now, Miss Stevens. Do you have any further witnesses, Senior Constable?
No, Your Worship, that is the case for the prosecution.
All right. Miss Downey, what do you have for us?
I'd like to call the defendant, Miss Linda Putnam.
Your Worship, sir, in my defence. I've been clean for the last 5 months, and I honestly believe that with the help of family and friends and AA, that I won't take up the drink again. I don't want to. For my kids' sake. I know it's been really hard on them. And I also know that what I did was stupid, but it wasn't malicious. I would never want to hurt anyone. I guess I realised that I have to face what happened and take responsibility for it. Mr. Scanlon, I'm really, really sorry for what happened. If I could rub it out, I would. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
After due consideration and despite the moving statement from Miss Putnam, I nevertheless find that there is sufficient evidence for a jury properly instructed to reach a guilty verdict on the charge.
Courtney, stop it!
Order!
You promised it would be all right.
Your Worship, I need time to speak with my client.
Just
Order!
Sweetheart, no.
Now, young lady, do you have something on your mind that I can help you with?
It wasn't her. It wasn't her driving. It was me. I drove the car.
Your Worship, I need time with my client.
Yes, Miss Downey, I believe you do.
And when Linda fell asleep and drove onto the verge, Courtney got behind the wheel. Well, apparently she's done it before. Then she started driving towards the school. A couple of minutes later, she hit the Scanlon's car.
So they're going to charge her?
She's only a kid. The damage has been done.
She'll probably get a caution for driving without a licence, I'd say.
That won't bring Gwen Scanlon back. No, it won't.
Come on through. You did well today, all of you.
I was doing my job, Tom.
Very thoroughly.
But I am sorry about my cross-examination of you. I admit I went too far.
I think we both got it wrong.
So where do we go from here?
Sonny, there's nowhere to go.
I think I knew you were going to say that.
Well, there's nothing else to say, is there? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. I'll miss you, Tom.
Do you want my protection to run the gauntlet?
No, no. I think I can manage on my own.